If you're looking for a great paying part-time job with flexible hours, check out 2020 Census Jobs. Apply today at 2020census.gov/jobs to help strengthen your community.
My next guest currently stars in the Queen Sugar series on the Oprah Winfrey Network. She is also a recognized playwright and CEO of the Inner Fitness Project. She is on the show today to discuss her new book. Came out November 19th. Mm-hmm. The Little Book of Big Lies, a journey into inner fitness. Please welcome to Money Making Conversation, Tina Lifford.
Hi, Rashawn. It's so nice to be here.
First time we talked on the phone.
Yes.
And you was coming through Atlanta. You had an event here. I was not able to make it.
Yes. Shame on you.
Shame on me. Shame because I travel a lot and I try to get back in town. And sometimes
no, I'm kidding.
I'm kidding. But the beauty of it, I'm watching you now. I'm enjoying the relationship I'm creating with you.
Yes.
Because I feel you're a relationship-driven person. And reading your book, The Little Book of Big Lies, A Journey into Inner Fitness. Okay. Let's start right there.
Yes.
Okay. What is the Inner Fitness Project?
So first, let me define inner fitness.
Okay, cool. Mm-hmm.
Inner fitness is literally being fit on the inside.
Absolutely.
Developing the mental, emotional, and spiritual skills and practices that can help us reduce stress, be strong on the inside, feel resilient, and more than anything, to begin to thrive instead of just merely survive in our lives. You know, my personal aim is to be fully alive when I die.
Right.
You know, and so the Inner Fitness Project recognized that, you know, there's all this emphasis on physical fitness.
Absolutely.
And literally no emphasis on inner fitness. And we really have to address the fact that there is a self inside of us. That self has needs, and we must become as familiar and practice in dealing with that self as we are the physical body.
Because so when you say that, can I say right when I say therapy is something, especially within the community of color?
Yes.
Therapy sounds like a word that's like, oh, you have something really wrong with you.
Yeah.
And so that's what you're talking about, being able to heal, to be able to grow, to develop the mental structure, the emotional structure will guide you through your daily life.
Yes.
Which sometimes is way more important than your outside, which is your physical being.
Absolutely. Well, your physical being can't help you resolve those hurts, dramas, traumas, upsets, and disappointments that you carry. And we all have unresolved hurts, dramas, traumas, upsets, and disappointments.
Right.
It's not our fault. It's by nature of our nervous system. When we have experiences and they are not properly processed, those experiences hang on inside as an emotional reaction.
Okay, cool. Now, before we get in detail about the book, which I really enjoyed.
Okay.
Thank you. Because you're sharing, I guess, emotional slices of your life.
Sure.
Some of them are very personal.
Yep.
And something. So when you start writing a book like that, how do you make the decision that I'm going to be 100% honest here? You know, we talk about your dad, his relationship with your mom. With your mom, which is abusive at times. You talk about the story when your dad got out the car and you guys locked the door and your mom drove home and your dad had to walk in later. You know, and those type of personal experience you talk about when you the little boy Jeffrey and your best friend, you know, he told you he loved you and you was on cloud nine and you realized that was a joke. But that was those what you're saying is like these are different moments, and there are more moments. I don't want to reveal the entire book because I want you to buy the book. But these are some of the key moments that you're talking about in your past, your inner fitness that you have to correct or admit has happened in your journey in order for you to move forward.
That's exactly right.
Talk to us about that.
Okay, so we all have experiences.
Absolutely.
You know, and you know, one experience can't be compared to the other.
Right.
If it left you feeling less than, not good enough, or disconnected from yourself in any way, it is an experience that you can rewire your relationship to.
Right. I underline that.
Yes.
In the book.
And until we rewire our relationship to those experiences, those experiences live inside, and they actually dictate our behavior.
Right.
If in fact you had, like Jeffrey in the book, if in fact your first experience with love was as disappointing and shameful as mine, then you could make decisions about love that aren't going to be supportive of what you really, really want.
Because you said that reflected your relationships moving forward.
Yes, absolutely.
Denial, because you instead of admitting that you were hurt
That's right.
by that game that your best friend played along with a young man,
right.
he leaning behind you telling you he was a lie.
That's right.
You just went, oh.
Yeah.
But isn't that the natural response is to shield yourself from pain?
Well, that may be the reaction.
Right.
That's the surviving self reaction. But I talk about the three selves in the book.
Right.
The surviving self, the thriving self, and the infinite self. And the surviving self, its job is to help us feel safe. But it sometimes is helping us feel safe in ways that no longer actually support our life. If in fact I made a decision as a 7-year-old or 17-year-old, and now I'm still living by that decision, and I'm not free enough to see that I've grown beyond that hurt.
Right.
Then I'm being held hostage by the past, right? And we don't want to be held hostage, and we don't have to be held hostage. I'm going to tell you that everyone listening has some secret,
right?
Some fear, something that they feel that if other people knew, it would, and somehow deflate their reputation.
Right.
It would make them seem less than. And so you don't reveal that, but you carry it around as a secret.
Right.
And you hope that people don't come anywhere close to
finding it out.
That area of your life.
And that's why I was really impressed with your book, because you revealed secrets.
Yes.
You revealed moments in your life that I thought were very important. And the thing about it is that when I look back at my life, I loved your book because of the fact that I can clearly remember moments in my life. I can clearly remember in the 5th grade when my teacher stopped me from running around in school. So you can do better than this. Stop.
Yes.
You're not like every other student here.
Yes.
Stop.
Yes.
I can remember when the little boy patted me down and took my money every day.
Yes.
Every day.
Yes.
And I couldn't figure out how could I get past this kid.
Yes.
And I know that had a reflection on me. And I can remember those moments like that at such an early age.
Yes.
And also when I became in middle school, I can remember this young lady, my teacher asked me to read, and because I was a very good reader, and this young lady said, "Why is he reading all the time? I want to read," and she couldn't read. But that caused me to change how I spoke.
Yes.
It
caused you to dim your light.
Yes.
It caused you to
wanting to fit
be
in.
self-conscious about speaking up.
Yes. And so
fitting
when I'm reading your book, I'm going, wow, she's hitting so many steps on a person, to me. And I'm a person who people deem successful. People come to me for advice all the time. I motivate people. But then we have all these little layers in our lives that if we don't talk about them, if we don't admit that they happen, then they just stay there and they contain a whole dark side of your life.
Exactly right.
That's what I took from your book.
Yeah.
And I am recommending people buy this book. It's by Tina Lifford. The Little Book of Big Lies, A Journey into Inner Fitness, because I'm healing because of your book.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that I've told these stories, but to hear you articulate them in this book lets me know I need to speak of them more.
Yes, absolutely. One of the things that I love in the book, there's a couple of things that I love about the book. Number one is I wrote it because I wanted people to be able to get to their better life faster.
Right.
I used to pray the prayer, God, help me to go through doors first so that I can turn around and show others how to quicker with greater grace and ease. And so this book, in 14 simple stories, really delivers rather profound concepts. And then at the end of each chapter, there are actionable 1, 2, 3 things that you can do.
Right.
And that was my frustration is that, with the motivation and going to church and, those people on the stage were shining, but I didn't know what I needed to do inside of my own brain. How did I need to think? What did I need to do inside of myself so that I could take ownership of the concepts that they were talking about?
One of the great stories you shared in the book about singing.
Yeah.
When your mom said you could sing, you went, I can't sing.
Yes.
And you shared this story where you went into complete stage fright.
That's right.
And it just blocked out your ability to sing.
That's right.
And it later played itself out in future auditions.
That's exactly
and you had
right.
to deal with that.
That's right.
So basically what you're saying in your book is that you can't run from it. It eventually going to rear its ugly head somewhere.
Absolutely. And it rears its head sometimes as addiction. It rears its head sometimes as, depression. It rears its head in a multitude of ways.
Right.
And you can't outrun it.
Right.
My father thought that he could outrun it.
Right.
My cousin, not my cousin, but you know how we say cousin. my cousin just died 2 weeks ago because she had a pain, a trauma. When she was 15 years old, she got pregnant, had a baby. This was not the life that was expected for her. She was, a Mensa child. And she literally drank herself to death. Right? We can't outrun the past. We have to rewire it. Right. And the little book of Big Lies gives you very clear steps.
Absolutely.
Actionable steps.
Absolutely. And
on how you can do that.
The inner fitness practice where she just goes down the big lie. She gives an explanation of what it was in that chapter you just read, the truth, an explanation of that chapter you just read, the possibility.
Yes.
And then try this.
Yes.
Which is usually about 1 to 3 different steps.
That's right.
Try this.
That's
to
right.
evolve from
That's
this
right.
moment.
That's
which
right.
I loved about it. We were talking
That's
to
right.
Tina Lifford, an amazing actress as well as a motivator and a transformer.
Oh.
We'll be back with more of this information from her amazing book, The Little Book of Big Lies, A Journey into Inner Fitness. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you.
Hi, you're listening to Rashawn McDonald, and this is Money Making Conversation. My guest, who's currently in studio, is one of the stars in the Queen Sugar series on the Oprah Winfrey Network. She's also a recognized playwright and CEO of the Inner Fitness Project, and she is on the show today to discuss her new book, which The Little Book of Big Lies, A Journey into Inner Fitness. Please welcome back to the show, Tina Lifford. Tina, when I was reading the book, it was kind of like I came across like you talked about the 20s, 30s, and 40s.
Yes.
In the 20s, you were obsessed with figuring life out.
Yeah.
In the 30s, was a time of awakening to the puzzles of life.
Yes.
In the 40s, had a dream that opened the door to a new way of seeing yourself.
Yes.
These are my take on these. So if I would like to take a moment to go back because we hit so many areas of how I try to communicate to people who listen to this show. I always tell people it's not your current resume that you should be concerned about. It should be what you accomplish in your 20s, your 30s, and your 40s, because by mastering that, accepting the values that are the traits that come out of that, that is what you're going to be making money on in your 40s and 50s and 60s. That's going to take you to, I don't use the word retirement.
Yes.
It will keep you through life.
Yes.
I think retirement is a stop sign for to say you're supposed to stop. And in life, you're not supposed to stop. You're supposed to keep gaining energy. So when you talk about the 20s, 30s, and 40s, let's break that down a little bit to my listeners.
Well, great. And I love that you were talking about, career building and longevity.
Yes, ma'am.
One of the things that people don't realize is that when it comes to living a full and balanced life, we're talking success and happiness.
Absolutely.
Right? But those are two separate skill sets. The skill set for success and career is a different skill set from happiness. People think that if they get the career and they make the money, that they are going to be happy.
Right.
Happiness, however, is actually a byproduct of us feeling aligned with ourselves, feeling that we are good enough, that we have purpose, that we are on point, that we literally just have a sense of our being worthy as we are. If we don't have that, then all the money in the world still has you feeling like there's something missing.
Correct.
You can have the mate, you can have the kids, you can have the money.
Absolutely.
But if you don't have yourself, you will wake up feeling like something is missing. And so, the 20s for me, thank goodness, the 20s for me were full of a curiosity. Like, I didn't know how to make my career. So that was truly frustrating. But I was also fortunate enough to have a circle of friends and to have a place of worship that was teaching me the importance of me connecting with me, and me connecting with me over time. I came to distill that into one, being able to acknowledge the things that have taken place.
I love that.
Truly, first you have to become aware that there's an inner you and that you have to take care of that person.
Right.
In addition to whatever your external aims are. And once you are aware that there's an inner you, now you have to acknowledge who you are and what you do.
Correct.
When you can say, from your awareness, I do this, or this happened to me, and this is how it made me feel.
Correct.
And these are the conclusions I drew based upon what happened to me. When we can be honest about that, then those past experiences aren't held inside of us in what I call an emotional loop.
Right.
When we don't acknowledge what happened to us and how it made us feel, there is a part of us sitting inside begging for that acknowledgement.
Let me ask you this. When you say that, is it speaking it, or sharing the experience with someone?
All of it.
Okay.
Writing it in your journal is a great starting point. Being able to have just another person hear you. We all want to be heard. We all want to be seen.
Right.
And in order to have that happen, you have to develop community or relationships where that can take place. But the most important thing is you have to see yourself. You have to acknowledge to yourself that you have these feelings and that this is where you are.
And that's where I love the book. And when I say the book, I'm talking about the little book of Big Lies, A Journey into Inner Fitness, because I have those stories. I have those moments in my life. I reveal some of them to you. They were really, if they still with me, that means they had an impact on me.
That's right.
If I can vividly see that young man patting me down.
That's right.
On the corner of Russell and Bain Street.
That's right.
where I was at. I had to
That's
walk past and suddenly he just stopped showing up. Lord knows I prayed enough. I don't know where he went. But Lord, he stopped, and that my life was able to go on.
Yes.
And so, even from a standpoint, I can remember in elementary school when a good friend of mine died. How that emotional played its role, and he was blowing up a balloon and he inhaled it, and that affected me. How my daughter, I would never allow her to have balloons. I would tell my wife, nope, no balloons in here. I said, they have to be blown up already, but she's not blowing up anything. So those little things that you're talking about, that journey as you go up, as you evolve, those moments really do play itself out again and again. And you have to acknowledge it and admit that this had a negative or a positive effect. Because a lot of times it is positive, but you still have to acknowledge it either way.
Absolutely. You have to. You have to acknowledge it, because once you acknowledge it, then you can actually begin to observe yourself, almost like you're watching a movie.
Right.
I call it sitting in your observer's chair,
right.
where you sit and you watch your life like you're watching a movie. And that objectivity allows you to see things that your subconscious hasn't yet brought to the surface.
It was something before we wrap up the interview. I wanted to make sure we talked about this. And you made a statement in your book. We are preconditioned to think something is always wrong.
Absolutely. That's the surviving. That's the surviving self in us.
Right.
We.
If somebody calls you early in the morning, late at night, what's wrong? What's wrong?
That's right. And just imagine that we laugh about it right here, but that's happening all the time. You get called into your boss's office, and the immediate thing is, what's wrong? What did I do wrong? And the what did I do wrong is we need to begin to rewire our immediate position with ourselves.
Right.
We need to realize that we are, I'd love to say, crew up, realize that we are innately creative, resilient, empowered to choose how we think in a moment.
Right.
And we're whole. So to think of ourselves as worthy first, and then be free enough to make decisions about what needs to change in our lives.
Yeah, it was so interesting. And, we talked about the House of Mirrors, which I found very relatable.
Yes.
I found looking at the 2D movie and seeing the 3D
Yes.
image in the background, which is the Santa Monica Pier.
Yes.
But a line also stood out, a question stood out to me that I wanted to make sure I got answered before we leave the show. What is real confidence?
Real confidence is the ability to be with yourself no matter what the challenges are. A lot of people can't be with the uncomfortable parts of themselves. But the moment that we learn to truly accept ourselves, then the opinions, the judgments, and the being looked at by others will not impact us in a negative way, because we know who we are.
I feel you're a soulmate. I'll just let you know that because of the fact that you do a lot of things. One of the things I really loved about when reading your book, you have a downloadable free tool called ASAL, Ascending Scale to an Awesome Life.
Yes.
You go to Lifford.com and download a free tool. It's called ASAL, Ascending Scale to an Awesome Life. Please tell everybody what that is, because I want to put that in my newsletter.
Yeah. Well, one of the most important things we can do is to begin to understand the power of the thriving self. And what the thriving self gives us is a sense of possibility. And we need to build the muscle of being able to, no matter what our situation is, to get to a legitimate and resonating sense of possibility. If you have a sense of possibility, you can move through anything.
Right.
And it's really important for people to know that one of the biggest lies in this book is that who you are as you are is all that you are. That is not it. You are so much more, but you can't access all that you are if you are running. You can't access all that you are if you don't accept that there is more in you, and then invest time in order to, express it and build it. And so those 14 little stories,
big stories.
Yeah,
okay?
they are big stories. You're
because
right.
they changed my life.
They really are life changing.
And listening, because it made me open up and realize I got to tell my story. I got to be honest about myself more, especially about my past.
Yeah.
And we're talking about the little book, Big Lies: A Journey into Inner Fitness. She's the star of Queen Sugar. But the amazing thing about it, you're changing lives with this book.
Yes.
The first time I interviewed you, I thought you were amazing, and to have you in my studio as a guest, you're equally amazing. And I want to
nice.
promote your brand. I want to continue to be a fan of what you do. Know that Money Making Conversations, whatever you need to promote, always know there is a home for you here.